What if I told you one of Japan's greatest treasures isn't on land, but hidden beneath the sea? When most people visit Okinawa, they come for the beaches. I came to discover what was hiding beneath them. Within minutes of entering the water, I encountered two extraordinary fish that looked almost identical, yet were completely different species. Then the reef exploded with life. Brilliant yellowfish, massive parrotfish, schools of striped sergeant majors, and one of the most fascinating underwater ecosystems I've ever experienced. Today we're diving beneath the surface to explore Okinawa's incredible coral reefs. The moment my face entered the water, everything changed. The sounds of the world disappeared. The only thing I could hear was my breathing through the snorkel. Sunlight filtered through the surface, creating moving patterns across the reef below. Coral stretched in every direction. Some formations had taken decades to grow. Others may have been here long before I was born. One of the very fish that caught my attention was the Chinese trumpetfish. At first glance, I almost didn't recognize it as a fish. Its long body and narrow tube-shaped snout made it resemble a drifting stick or a piece of coral. That isn't an accident. It's camouflage. Unlike predators that rely on speed, the trumpetfish relies on patience. It drifts quietly through the water, waiting for the perfect opportunity. Sometimes it even turns vertically beside coral or sea fans, making it even more difficult for smaller fish to detect. Then, in a fraction of a second, it strikes. Watching it was mesmerizing. There was no rushing, no wasted movement. Every glide through the reef seemed effortless. It reminded me that some of nature's greatest hunters aren't the fastest. They're simply the most patient. Standing still long enough to watch this fish felt like discovering one of Okinawa's best kept secrets. As I continued exploring the reef, I encountered another fish that immediately caught my attention. At first, I thought it was another trumpetfish, but this was actually a blue spotted cornet fish. The similarities between these two fish are remarkable. Both have long, slender bodies, both move with incredible grace, and both rely on stealth instead of speed. But the cornet fish is even thinner, with a distinctive whip-like extension trailing from its tail. Watching it glide just above the coral was like watching an underwater ribbon drift with the current. Seeing both species during the same snorkel made this experience even more memorable. Not every hero on the reef is large. Swimming nearby was a tiny cleaner rosse. Although it's only a fraction of the size of the fish around it, this little rosse performs one of the reef's most important jobs. It removes parasites and dead skin from larger fish. Even predators allow cleaner rosses to approach without fear. It's one of the ocean's greatest examples of cooperation. Suddenly, a flash of bright yellow crossed the reef, the yellow tang. Its brilliant color made it impossible to miss. But this fish is far more important than its appearance. By grazing on algae throughout the day, yellow tangs help prevent algae from covering the coral. Without fish like these, the reef would slowly begin to change. Sometimes the smallest jobs have the biggest impact. Schools of sergeant majors darted between the coral. Their bold black stripes made them one of the easiest fish to recognize. Unlike some of the shy fish hiding in the reef, sergeant majors seemed curious. Several swam surprisingly close, almost as if they were welcoming me into their underwater neighborhood. They filled the reef with constant movement and energy. One of the largest fish I encountered was the colorful parrotfish. Its powerful beak scraped algae from the coral with every bite. At first it looked destructive, but the opposite is true. Parrotfish help protect coral by preventing algae from taking over the reef. Even more remarkable, as they feed, tiny fragments of coral pass through their digestive system and become fine white sand. Some of Okinawa's beautiful beaches actually begin right here, with parrotfish quietly doing what they do every day. Nature never ceases to amaze me. The longer I floated above the reef, the more I stopped thinking about individual fish. Instead, I saw an entire community. The trumpetfish hunted with patience, The cornet fish glided silently across the reef. Cleaner rosses cared for larger fish. Yellow tangs protected the coral. Parrotfish maintained the reef while creating beaches. Sergeant majors filled every corner with movement. Every fish had a purpose. Every species depended on the health of the reef. Together, they created one of the most beautiful ecosystems I've ever explored. As I slowly swam back toward shore, I couldn't stop thinking about what I had just experienced. Most people will visit Okinawa and remember the beaches. I'll remember what was beneath them, a hidden world filled with life, patience, color, and extraordinary creatures that most visitors never notice. Experiences like this remind me why I love to travel, not simply to visit famous destinations, but to discover the stories that nature quietly tells beneath the surface. If you ever have the opportunity to snorkel in Okinawa, take your time, slow down, look closely, because some of the greatest adventures you'll ever experience aren't found on land. They're waiting just beneath the waves. If you've enjoyed exploring Okinawa's underwater world with me, let me know in the comments which fish fascinated you the most. And if you'd like to join me on more adventures around the world, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next journey.